I will be running us through scholarship opportunities in Europe and the UK. Just like we know, scholarship is just an opportunity for you to have a financial aid to study in any field of your choice. And basically, you don't have to pay anything for most of the scholarship. I want to put a clause. For some scholarships, you have to pay some application fee. For some, it could be partial. For some, it could only cover your tuition and so on. So it depends on the particular kind of scholarship that you're looking for or looking at. That will determine what exactly you get from it. Some scholarships have specific donors. Some are by specific funding agencies. Some are organized by some universities. Generally, United Kingdom, other European countries, there are some specific scholarship opportunities that are quite funded by the European Union and some other funding bodies in the Europe. So the very first one is the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship. That is the scholarship I'm actually on presently. It is being sponsored by the European Union as well. We have the DAAD, that is basically domiciled in Germany. So there are a lot of opportunities. That is not limited to European schools alone. Then Chevening, Commonwealth, they are domiciled in the UK. Other funding bodies like FWO and UKFSCDT. I have a friend currently on UKFSCDT in the UK. And there are also some specific adverts from professors. You see a lot of professors that are interested in African studies. They are interested in anything that has to do. So there are a lot of scholarship opportunities around here in Europe. If I want to apply for a graduate scholarship, what do I need? What are the basic things that you need? You need your bachelor's degree certificate. If you have a master's degree certificate, well, if you're applying for a PhD opportunity or even another master's, yes, you can also put in your master's degree certificate as well. Then your transcript, please. Transcript is a very important thing. It shows your academic record all through your study year. And these transcripts, from what I've learned, it's a real deal in Nigeria. Well, for me, it wasn't a real deal because I actually started my scholarship journey since 2018 while I was still 7. So I had my transcripts back then, my student copy of my first degree transcript. I had it back then in 2018 while I was still 7. So I learned for some schools, Unilag, even UI. It's a real deal to get your transcript out. So please, the moment you finish or you graduate from university, please try and process your transcript as fast as you can so that at least you have that at hand. And also your statement of purpose, which could also be referred to as letter of intent, motivation letter, statement of interest, personal statement. They use different forms. Things are just slightly different from each other. What each scholarship opportunities, what they require differs from each other. I could remember when I was applying, my very first scholarship application, which I did in 2018, was for MasterCard Foundation at the University of British Columbia in Canada. And the selection process was quite funny because I applied, I put in my certificate, my transcript. They said I was qualified to apply for the next phase. And funny enough, my friends that we applied together already got feedback from their departments. They had ample time to write their personal statements. They actually required for a personal statement, I think. And the personal statement had like 5 different themes which you must write upon. So for that particular application, it was like 1,500 words. 5 different things which you must write specifically upon. So some they asked, why are you interested in this study? And you have to write strictly 300 words. Why do you think we should fund you? Tell me about your financial background. Some of those things. And some of these things, it is very specific to specific scholarship. It is not the same everywhere. Please let us do away with the mentality of saying that I have a particular format, I'll just be editing. No. And then also I want to say something that please own your story. This is you. This is your story. Let it be true. I've seen a whole lot of people write, just like she was mentioning, that I come from a poor background, I have not been able to hit for so. Yes, these are realities about Nigeria. But at the same time, these people are also familiar with Nigeria. When you meet some of them here, they are like, you are from Nigeria, Lagos or Abuja. It's not like some of them have, if they have not been to Nigeria, they have probably worked with Nigerians before. So please be very true with your statement of purpose. Let it be original. Let it be you. For me, my statement of purpose, okay, let me just cite an example. For me, I never had interest in studying agriculture when I started. I studied agricultural economics in my first degree, and that was never my intention. I wanted to pull out after my first year. I studied medicine. But during the course of my first degree, I was motivated. I was just making grades for making grades sake. But I just wanted to pull out. I didn't want to study agri because that was never my intention. And when I switched my passion, when my dad specifically asked me to come back home and write JAM so so I can go back to school and start medicine and all of those things. I told him I was not coming home, and I said no, I want to continue in Africa. What motivated you? Why did you switch career interest? Why did you switch what you're actually interested in? That was one of the things that I wrote in my motivation letter, because I had a switch, and I knew why I was switching from medicine to agriculture. So that was, like, for me, the beginning of my story. This is what motivated me to study agriculture in the university, and this is what is motivating me to proceed even in this field. Please be original about your statement of purpose, please, and let it be catchy. When they say 300 words, please let it be 300 words, not less. It can be lesser. Maybe some people can say 250 to 300 words. And I'm saying this because I am still going to narrow down to Erasmus Mundus scholarship. I remember last year, people that were applying for this new cohorts after my set in my program, the entire system changed, and some people who wrote more, when they were to upload their documents, the documents they did not upload because the system automatically said this is beyond the required numbers of words. So write concise information about yourself, but let it be catchy, let it be true, let it be original, let it be you. There are a lot of applicants, I mean a whole lot. I remember my husband applied for a particular program. This Erasmus Mundus, he applied for a particular program, and he was told that 1,300 Nigerians applied for that particular program. I said, what? So if you want to be singled out of the 1,300, what makes you different from others? Please, let it be your true story. Let it be what indeed motivates you. Let it be original, and make it catchy and concise, except they give you the allowance to write more. Please take note of that as well. Then also your international passport. Please and please, Nigeria has the system of getting international passports in Nigeria now is quite hard. When I got my very first passport as well, it was quite easy. I did it in 2018. My very first passport, I did it in 2018. It was to expire this year before my program asked me to renew another one. And in my own case, I didn't even know I was going to renew another one because it's still going to expire, I think, 2023 December. Yeah. Until while I was about leaving last year, just after I was nominated for the scholarship, my coordinator wrote me and told me I have to renew my international passport. I was like, I still have like a year, 6 months. Why do you want me to renew another one and stuff? So I had to go through the process of reapplying. And for me, I'm thankful to God because I had my scholarship letter with my whole international passport number on it. And when it was time for me to apply, if I applied to the embassy with the old passports, which had already been rejected by my program, it would have been a case. So I started the process of applying for another international passport, which I did. I didn't get my passport until end of July. And I already got my scholarship award since April, which means I have started the procedure around April. So international passports can take a long time. Please start getting it, start saving money. I know a lot of things are not quite easy right now, but God is for us, God is with us. Please deliberately save up and do some of these things yourself and apply. Get some of these required documents on your own. Then academic CV, I'll be talking about it. It has to be academic enough. Like your academic CV, don't just be generic. Don't just put anything, because they want to see your academic progression, how you have built yourself, your journey progressively. So let it be what exactly happened. And in your academic CV, I have seen people that will say you don't need to put reference. Please put your referees on your academic CV. Nobody is interested in just asking you available on request. Please remove that. Put your referees on it. And I want to just say a word on the recommendation letter. Anybody you want to use, make sure this is somebody that knows you personally. I remember I read a statement from one of the guys, I think last year or in 2021, that applied for a particular scholarship opportunity. And the professor was just a high-ranked professor in a Nigerian university. Just wrote something very nasty about the students, and he just wrote something generic for the student, and the student nearly didn't get the scholarship. They had to write him back and said, if not for your excellent grades and the other two recommenders that have said so that commiserate, like that are in line with what you have said to us about you, we would have not given you this particular. So please make sure you are in touch with your professors. I know some of us run away, especially our project supervisor. You're like, no, this person cannot recommend me again. No. I really understand, because that is what the system had been, and some professors are not even nice enough. But well, I've had nice professors all through. So, but at the same time, please build good rapport. Don't, while you are still in school, or while you are still, when you are even out of school, please try and build very good rapport with them, because you will definitely need them to write a professional recommendation letter for you. And when you see that, even you'll be proud of yourself, because you might not remember some of the things that they remember about you. So please build very good rapport with your recommenders or your referees, as the case may be. So other documents which they are valid but may not be required by specific programs are English test results, like IELTS, TOEFL, attestation letter from universities, and Duolingo. In my own program in IMRD, I was supposed to apply in year 2020, but I didn't have my TOEFL result. I have not written TOEFL that time, and I had letter of English proficiency from my university. It was boldly written on my transcript, and also that my entire study was in English, and my program said, this is one of their basic requirements. And I had to forfeit the application that year and apply in 2021 again. And by then I had already written TOEFL. And my choice of TOEFL was because of the range of countries. I had my target to be the US and Europe specifically. So I knew that would cover for them. So in some specific cases, like some people going to Canada that wants to write, that needs English proficiency, Canada will always require from the IELTS academic if you are going to study. So if you have TOEFL, it's just you have to still go write IELTS academic. So when you are also targeting specific universities, specific countries where you want to apply to, please check what are the basic requirements that are needed in these particular countries. I had somebody in Erasmus too. She just graduated now. Duolingo was sufficient for her to submit as a test for English proficiency also in our own program. But my own program insisted that TOEFL, and I even have some of my friends that came to the same university I came to, Ghent University, the very first university I came to, that did not even write English test at all, because it was not required by their program. So some of these things are quite dicey. So you have to be deliberate about checking what are the specific requirements that are needed by these specific programs or scholarships or countries that you're applying for. Then some professional certifications for professionals. I know teachers have specific professional certificate. I know people who are accountants have specific professional certificate. I know people who are in animal science who write graduate animal science exam. There are professional exams that you have to, that probably you wrote or in your line of career. Please, if you also have that, it is quite important to put it, especially if you are a professional. Then I have talked about recommendation letter as well. Then publications, please, if you have opportunities to publish, to write academic papers, to have conference papers, please do it. It enhances and shows that you are truly interested in academics. So please, if you have these opportunities, please don't do away with it. Told this part, try and search for conferences online in African countries. There are a lot of conferences where you can present virtually. I had one conference presentation in Kenya, I think in 2021, but I didn't go. I presented in my office back then. So it's very important. Then also, I also know one undergraduate that also presented in this very popular conference in Troppentag in Germany. And the guy presented from the walls of his supervisor's office, and now he's even one of the very best presenters, and he was not even in Germany at all. So please make use of some of these opportunities. They might not be required, but they are valid and can also add up to your application package. So I will be talking shortly also about timeline of application. There are some specific timelines for some of the scholarship opportunities that I've mentioned. For Erasmus is going to be out this September. Some program will close December, some January, some February. Please start looking at the catalog, know when to apply. That has been available, but then that also has different phases. I've seen the dad leadership exchange program, but right now there are some other dad scholarship fundings that are out that I saw sometimes earlier this year. I think around June thereabout. So then UKFS CDT is also a very good funding in the UK for professionals for PhDs application. Then Commonwealth Chevin, they're also domiciled in the UK, and they are also like out right now. Another thing I want to say about all of these scholarships is they are quite competitive, but it is possible, and I'm very sure because we have the excellent spirit of God inside of us, and we are meant to stand out. So some of the useful resources I want to also recommend to us are the academic Twitter community. Yeah, Twitter is a lot of things. Things are on Twitter, but for me, I use Twitter, but strictly for academic purposes. So the people I follow are people who talk about academic opportunities on Twitter. And please be very, very truthful with your... I want to also put a disclaimer on this Twitter thing. Please, there are a lot of people on Twitter that are getting a lot of money from different Nigerians who sounds desperate. And at the end of the day, they are putting people in a lot of trouble. They are paying money. It's not like they have spots that they are going to say, please put this Nigerian and then no. What they are going to do is all of these things that we are saying here. What they are going to teach you in that particular program is everything that we are saying. So please, you can do it yourself. There are people that encourage you, do it yourself on Twitter. We say DIY on Twitter, do it yourself. But a lot of these people that we look up to on Twitter have made a lot of people their praise by collecting a huge amount. I learned that somebody collected 250k just to do what? Just to come and learn how you can do applications. I'm like, what? Are you the coordinator of this? Why did you have to collect a ridiculous amount of money from people that are willing to travel and this? So just beyond the jackpot thing, be ready and be intentional about this entire process. I pray the Lord will help us. Then LinkedIn profile as well. I've seen a lot on LinkedIn and I'm like, what? Did you? Because they are not true. They are not the truth. Some scholarship opportunities will actually go and check your profile to know exactly who you are. But if that is not even like tallying with what you have in your application dossier, please don't put exaggerating things on LinkedIn. Be truthful. It helps you to connect with the right set of people. Then also on LinkedIn, I would like to have that when you follow some specific, then your progression, your academic progression achievement on LinkedIn would also bring forth some suggestions to you. So for me, I see applications in agriculture more because that is what my LinkedIn profile is tailored towards, and the people I follow on LinkedIn are also like in that field. So the people you follow on LinkedIn, the people you also determine. So you can also see like beyond all of these big scholarship, Erasmus, this, there are people that are looking. I've seen a lot of scholarships that will tell you interested in a candidate, an agricultural, somebody that studied agronomy or a plant something, who is an African, because probably the research is going to be in Africa. So LinkedIn is also a very good space for you to get a lot of opportunities. And there are scholarship websites. For all of these scholarships that I've listed in the previous slide, they have websites that you can actually go to and search for specific information about them. I know a lot of us might have heard about the Erasmus Mundus scholarship. It is actually a scholarship funded by the European Union government itself. So, and some of the modalities with Erasmus Mundus, because there's Erasmus Mundus. Because when I got it, I knew that they are different. So, from Erasmus Mundus, you are expected to study in 2 to 4 European countries within your 24 months duration. I know somebody that have been to 3 countries in 1 year. So it takes you around European universities because they are like coordinating these programs together, and that is why like you have to like leave European countries at some specific time during your program. Then another good thing about Erasmus, so in Erasmus Mundus, you are able to like travel to different European countries, like able to visit different countries. You might not be able to like visit, but at least you would have experience of, I've been to this country, this is their culture, this is how they do their things, I've been to this country, and also. And another good thing about Erasmus Mundus is you can apply to maximum of 3 programs at cost at once. So if you're applying this year, you can apply to 3 good programs at once. If you're interested, probably your background is in let me talk about my own background. I studied agricultural economics. I did a little bit of I did extension in my first degree, so my program is more like an rural development. It has to that relates with extension basically. So I could apply for IMRD, which is the International Masters of Science in Rural Development. I could apply for Global Development Policy, anything that has to do with development, that has to do with development is quite my interest. Not just anything that has to do with development though, because sometimes when you see some development because you're like, no, this is not for me. This is not like my background. It might sound familiar, but you have to like dig into, see what each of these courses require. See if, because another thing to be in these programs, another thing for you to be looking at like, I need to teach this. I'm not even like, So you can apply for maximum of 3 programs, but make sure that the programs that you're applying are within the spheres of your background, so that it's not be completely different from what you know, and you have to like come here and be on learning, relearning, doing a lot of, and you are just like completely lost in the past. So please make sure that the programs that you're selecting are relevant to your academic background. Then also free application. I put a little disclaimer on this. Some programs in Erasmus, you have to pay application fee. For my program, no, you didn't have to pay. But for GLODEP, I think we had to pay. I applied for GLODEP last year. I paid maybe 27 euros or something to apply for that particular program. So some programs require you to pay some application fee. Just make sure that you are searching from the direct website of that particular program, so that you get ample information about it all. Then also in Erasmus, you get monthly stipend and insurance. You are covered if you have a full scholarship award. I've seen Erasmus. I didn't know until in our cohort that I know that some people can actually get partial funding. And the particular one I was even talking about it for my husband, they offered him a special opportunity in that particular program where they said they had 1,300 applicants, meaning that probably they will only be covering the tuition alone, and you have to cover for your stipend, cover for your insurance yourself, and some things like that, which are not quite easy to sustain. So please check the scholarship, the particular program you're applying for, see if they are also give full award. Can you, if you want, some people actually took partial awards because they knew they could fund it. There are some Europeans in my class that are not on scholarship. They are self-funded students. There are some self-funded, in fact, not just Europeans. I have seen a Pakistani guy that is self-funded. I've seen somebody from Japan that is self-funded in my program. So check if, because why we are saying scholarship is because we will know that, okay, we want to benefit fully from it. So please check specifically the program you are applying for and what they offer. I've seen this year, I think some people were lamenting and saying that some programs made them quit their jobs, quit this because they didn't have funding. They asked them to come as self-funded. I'm like, if you had read this during your application program, you would not have fallen victim of this. So please read well what is in your application program. Then also the opportunities for you to learn foreign languages and also meet different set of people. This is the application link, which I can also put. So in summary, there are a lot of scholarship opportunities, a lot, and most are usually opened in September of the previous year, which you'll be getting in to February. So you should be familiar with this process. You should be familiar with what is the deadline for each of these applications as well. Then another thing I want to say is never apply blindly. Don't just put in applications. I can tell you for free, I spent a lot of money applying to a lot of schools in the US, paying application fee while I was in Nigeria, because I knew I didn't want to have my next degree on my own funding. And to the glory of God, even my master's degree in Nigeria was funded. So I never apply blindly. God is interested in everything that pertains to us. The Bible says that the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. So everything that pertains to us, God is interested. Just like Sister Phoebe was saying, she knew it was time for her to move. And that was why she could even ditch a PhD opportunity, which she was on as at the time she was leaving. I also got a PhD opportunity before I left, but I left the program for this. So please, don't apply blindly. Be sure God is leading you, and don't just we are children of God. That is one advantage that we have over any other person. You are putting in your application, be deliberate about it. Talk to God about it. He owns everything. He's the source of everything on earth. Everything is in his hands. So talk to God about it. God, I'm interested in this. You have a nudge in your spirit to go ahead. Please go ahead. And another thing I would like to say is that don't be discouraged. If you apply, I didn't get it once. It is our wish that we get it once. I know some people that applied and got it just once and they got it. That is an example. I know some people like me that started my journey since 2018 and I didn't get it while I was applying. Not because I didn't have the requirement or anything, but probably my application dossier was not good enough or was not good. So even when you apply and it's a no, we call it love letter. You say as every time you say love letter. That's what we call it. So it can be tiring. I remember I had one that I paid for. I emptied my account with my fiancé then, my husband. Like, we emptied our accounts. When we're even writing TOEFL, one of our supervisors at work told us, "Yeah, emptying your account to write TOEFL. Are you okay? Are you normal? Is it sure already?" But we knew what we wanted. If even it's a yes is enough to erase all of these things, and a yes is what we are going for. So don't be discouraged in this journey.